Chair recognizes that the Lenore County Board of Education has established a quorum and calls the December 9th, 2024 regular monthly meeting to order. Chair recognizes Mr. Nick Harvey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let us pray. May the words spoken in this room tonight be beneficial to the students, parents, staff, and administration in our school system. And may we be led by the guiding principle to always base our decisions on the best interests of our young people. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. We have an additional responsibility tonight. And so the chair recognizes Lenore County Clerk of Superior Court, Ms. Mary Alphen, and District Court Judge, Ms. Annette Turek, to administer the oath of office to re-elected board members Bruce Hill, Elijah Woods, Dr. Kimberly Outlaw, John Wiggins, and newly elected board member Jonathan Britt. We will ask Ms. Alphen to come forward first and administer the oath of office to the re-elected board members, and then ask Judge Turek to come forward and administer the oath of office to the other re-elected board members and the newly elected board members. And since I'm the oldest, I'll go first. Bruce Hill.
Do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the constitutional laws of the United States and the constitutional laws of the state of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge my duties as a member of the Lenore County Board of Education. So help me God.
I will. Thank you. You want to go ahead and sign that now?
solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge my duties as a member of the Lenore County Board of Education, so help me God. I will. Thank you. Do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge my duties as a member of the Lenore County Board of Education, so help me God. Do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge my duties as a member of the Lenore County Board of Education, so help me God.
Thank you, Mrs. Alphen and Judge Turley. Now, in accordance with Board Policy 22-200, election of officers, organization of board, the board shall be organized at the first meeting in December of each year. At that time, a chair and vice chair will be elected by the members of the board. Chair now recognizes Attorney Jason Weber to explain the election process.
Good evening, board members. Filling in for Adam Mitchell tonight and happy to be here to assist. As Chair Hill stated, this is the board officer elections item. So per policy, your Superintendent Williams will preside during the nomination and election of the chair. He'll start by calling for nominations for chair. As a reminder, nominations do not require a second. If only one person is nominated, the board can approve the election by acclamation or voice vote. If more than one person is nominated, board members will fill out written ballots. Ms. Taylor will distribute blank ballots. You have to sign your ballot if we have to use them. And when you've made your selection, you will pass your completed ballot to me. I will then tally and announce the vote. Also, per your policy 2200, the individual elected must have the majority vote of all members present. And that process will be repeated as necessary until someone receives a majority. Once your chair is elected, Dr. Williams will pass the gavel and the newly elected chair will preside over the election for the vice chair. And that election process for vice chair is the same as the process for the chair. The chair calls for nominations. Nominations do not require a second. If only one person is nominated, the board can approve the election by acclamation or voice vote. And if more than one person is nominated, board members fill out written ballots. And once again, I will tally and announce that vote. And similar to the chair, that process will also be repeated as necessary until someone receives a majority vote. Are there any questions about the election process?
All right, thank you, Mr. Weber. Chair now recognizes Mr. Brett Williams to preside during the election process of board chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next item on the agenda is the election of board officers. As superintendent and pursuant to board policy 2200, I will preside over this portion of the meeting. The first order of business is the election of the chair. As a reminder, nominations do not require a second, as the attorney noted. At this time, I will call, are there any nominations for chair of the Lenore County Board of Education?
Mr. Superintendent, I nominate Mr. Walter Anderson.
Okay, we have one nomination. Are there any further nominations for chair of the Lenore County Board of Education for this year?
Michelle Cash.
Okay, we have Mr. Hill has nominated Mr. W.D. Anderson. Mr. Wiggins has nominated Ms. Michelle Cash. Do we have any other nominations for board chair? Hearing no other nominations, the nominations are now closed, and we will, since we have more than one, we will go to the ballot process. Jesse Taylor will distribute the ballots for you. When you complete your ballot, please fold the ballot once and pass it down to our board attorney, Mr. Weber.
I will tally the ballots. You can talk amongst yourselves for a minute. There are 4 votes for Mr. Anderson, 3 votes for Ms. Cash. Mr. Anderson has been elected as chair. Congratulations.
All right, at this time, Mr. Chairman, congratulations again, and I will turn it over to you for the remainder of the process. The attorney has that packet.
The floor is now open for nominations for vice chair.
Mr. Chair, I nominate Dr. Outlaw Starkey for vice chair.
Dr. Outlaw Stark has been nominated.
Mr. Bruce Hill.
Mr. Bruce Hill has been nominated. Are there any other nominations? Nominations closed.
There are 4 votes for Ms. Outlaw Starkey and 3 for Mr. Hill. Ms. Outlaw Starkey has been nominated or elected as vice chair.
I will defer the board chair comments at this time, and we will turn it over to the superintendent for his report.
Do you want to approve the agenda?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. You've received the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Motion to approve.
Motion's been made by Ms.
Cash.
Cash. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Outlaw. Any questions, discussion? Not. Call for the vote. All those in favor of the agenda as presented, let it be known by raising your right hand. Those opposed, the agenda is passed. As I said, I will defer the chairman's comments in this the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first semester is drawing to a close with the approach of the holiday season. Our teachers, our students, our other staff members, our parents, and all of our stakeholders are working very hard. I want to thank everybody for all that they're doing to make this school system and our schools successful every day for the betterment of our students. Our high schools will start exams this Thursday. We have some of our high school students here. I know they're looking forward to that, sort of, right? They gave me a look when I said that. We'll have early release day for students and staff members next Wednesday, December the 18th, and the Christmas season is upon us. On behalf of our administrative team, I want to wish our board members and all of our stakeholders here and those who are watching virtually very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Our next board meeting will be Monday, January the 6th, 2025. Seems a little strange at this time to say that, right? 2025. At this time, it's my honor to present some points of recognition for students and staff members. We'll begin. 6 of our high school students had a great summer this year. They attended the North Carolina Governor's School, the highly selective summer residential program for academically or intellectually gifted AIG high school students. North Lenoir High School students selected were, and as I call your names, if you'll come forward, and then we'll recognize all of you together, and I'll ask the newly elected board chair to join me up for a photo if he wishes with these fine young people. But Egan Ballard, who attended in social science, Kayla Britt, who attended in English, Lillian Doughty and Madeline Gilmore, who attended in dance, and Hayden Hall, who attended in theater. Lenoir County Early College High School student Mackenzie Hood also attended in mathematics. Governor's School accepts about 650 students a year from more than 1,800 applications. Since 2022, LCPS has sent 17 students to Governor's School in both academics and the arts. We're proud of this year's group for continuing that success on both the East Campus and the West Campus. Very proud of these young people. Let's go. And as standout students, I told you, I was joking earlier, but not really, that I was going to put you on the spot. Okay. I'm sorry. Either side, just choose a side. You can stand right there, I'll stand over there. Okay. Mackenzie. Congratulations, Mackenzie. Proud of you. All right, Madeline. Congratulations. Proud of you. Lily. So, student ago, a couple of years ago. It changed his life for the better. And I had the opportunity to hear these kids talk about their experience. Residential, 4.5, 5 weeks. They spend basically in the college experience a little bit early. And I've heard them talk about it. And my son went to the campus of Winston-Salem State University, and it just changed his life. He's just all about that. He was truly ready for college. He's freshman this year. But he looks back, he keeps contact, everything's social media now. He keeps up with government school friends. I heard these students do a talk a few weeks ago for other students who are interested now in government school. I was truly impressed with the depth of their presentations, with how honest they were about the experiences, and the good experiences and the challenges and all that. So share, if you will, a couple of you share what it's meant to you, government school.
Well, it was truly a life-changing experience. I learned what I want to do with my life and how best I can serve and help others. It just gave me experiences and opportunities I wouldn't be able to take anywhere else, and I'll hold those experiences very close to my heart.
And regardless of what discipline you were there for, if you're there for English or you're there for the arts or whatever you were there for, you kind of got a little bit of all of that experience, right? That's great. Who else?
Oh, I would just like to say that I had probably one of the best summers of my life, and I'm so thankful for LCPS for giving us this incredible opportunity.
It was such a life-changing experience. I know everybody says that, but it was a great introduction for college, and I met some lifelong friends.
I felt the same about it as everyone, but it really let me expand on my creativity and individuality.
I really enjoyed it. I made a lot of really good friends. It definitely prepared me for the college experience living in the dorm. And it also really rekindled my joy for learning. It kind of reminded me that it's not supposed to be like this really tough thing. It's supposed to be something that you enjoy and you can take with you for the rest of your life. So it kind of reminded me of that, and I brought that to school year.
Commercial was such an amazing opportunity for me, and it helped me learn many new things and
Let's give them another round.
If we can scrunch a little bit.
There we go. All right, 1, 2, 3. Do a couple of flash. All right, one more. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you guys.
The North Carolina School Boards Association announced the following elementary school poster contest honorable mentions and middle school video contest winner from Lenoir County Public Schools, held in conjunction with the North Carolina School Boards Association Annual Conference for Board Member Development last month. Elementary students were encouraged to create posters of themselves in the future, achieving their dreams and making a positive impact on the world thanks to their education in a public school. Middle school students were encouraged to create a video with the theme More Than a School. The conference was held in Greensboro in November. We're really proud of our students. 115 school systems in North Carolina were represented, and Lenoir County was represented very well by the students we're going to mention now. We'll start with the elementary poster contest, and I'll call the name of the school and the student. I'll ask our principals who are here, the principals of these schools, LaGrange, Moss Hill, and Northwest, to come forward, and if their teachers are here, I'm inviting you to come up as well. The elementary poster contest, LaGrange Elementary School, Eden Oliver and Brissa Santillan. Moss Hill Elementary School, Hance Davis, Yadira Venegas Cortez, and Josue Barrios Morales. Okay. Northwest Elementary School, Riley Hooker, Janella Saul, and Dalen Ratliff. Let's give these students a round of applause. And we have their posters, and all of them except one is on this lovely background. If you hold that up,
Okay, go this way. Good job. This way, Crowley. Can you hold it up? You got it. Good job. Next goes right out of you, Dalen. Dalen, congratulations. Proud of you. It's a great job, man. Just so I can see your work. All right. Good deal. Good deal. Congratulations. Great job there. Janella. Janella, congratulations. Proud of you. Good job. Excellent. Riley. Riley. Now, guys, I'm going to tell you something that you might not be aware of. All across the state, North Carolina, the whole state that you've seen on the posters, our entire state on GPS, everybody from one end of our state to another was there at the School Boards Association. Every school board, like these folks here, and they saw you guys and your artwork, and they walked through the exhibit hall and they commented on how outstanding it was, and you guys won for the whole state. Aren't you excited? And these are going to be displayed. We're going to ask the principals to display these at the school as well.
All right, I'm gonna have you guys scoot a little bit that way for me, and then stretch it as much as you can. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you.
And now for our video contest for our middle schools. E.B. Frank Middle School, Dr. Moon and Mr. Smith and the E.B. Frank Middle School team. I'll ask them to come forward now as I call your name. Allison, and this is a video contest, and they won second place in the state of North Carolina. Allison Ponce, Ethan Gray, Layla Landers, Layla Edwards, Kai Manley, and Hudson Horton, and Dr. Moon, and Mr. Jonathan Smith. All right, video contest. Now, we don't have the video queued up, guys, but it's your opportunity to tell us how you came up with it.
Okay, so basically to begin with, we were given a script, but we were told that each of us could choose whatever we just love most about the extracurricular activities at our school, whether that be like sports or singing or band. And so we all got to do something that was like really close to us, which helped us embody like whatever we were doing for the day.
When Mr. Moon and Mr. Smith asked me to do the video and do it on agricultural MFA, I was so excited because I have a love for agricultural MFA, and I felt like that she needed to show that school is more than a learning experience, that it is extracurricular activities, and when you can learn more than just on your iPads in the classroom.
For the benefit of the public, outstanding, even, and for the benefit of the public, agriculture education at E.B. Frank is still relatively new. So they're building that program. So it's particularly exciting to see them win with the ag Titans and everything they're doing. So as Layla said, they're really excited about it, and everybody in Greensboro loved it, and they showed it. There were hundreds and hundreds of people in there, 2,000 actually, and they were really excited about your video. So second place in the state. Awesome. The Department of Public Instruction has presented 12 of our schools with graduation and growth excellence awards for 23-24 school year. Whether for academic growth or graduation rate, these certificates represent an impressive amount of hard work by students and educators. I will ask the principal of these schools to come forward. I'm going to isolate out one school. It is our A school, and that cannot be taken for granted. This school has been a U.S. News and World Report nationally recognized school for 12 out of the last 14 years. Really proud of this school, and it boasts a 100% graduation rate, and that can't be taken for granted, because if anything happens, that means where the kid starts in 9th grade, where they end in 12th grade, if they graduate on time, not a semester later, not during the summer, it's all on time. And we're really proud of Early College, 100% graduation rate, outstanding school, and just the kids are on fire for education out there. The staff members are too. So DPI has sent 2 certificates here, one growth certificate. He'll be recognized, and the school will for that. But I wanted to isolate them out for special recognition for 100% graduation rate. Congratulations, sir. Proud of you.
All right, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
Now for our schools that exceeded academic growth in the highest growth tier set by the state: Banks Elementary School, LaGrange Elementary School, Moss Hill Elementary School, Pink Hill Elementary School, and Woodington Middle School, if they'd come forward. These are from the academic results from last school year, approved by the State Board of Education at their September meeting, and the certificates just arrived last week.
Yes, good.
And our schools meeting all academic standards set by the state of North Carolina: Contentnia Savannah K-8 School, E.B. Frink Middle School, Lenoir County Early College High School, Lenoir County Learning Academy, Northeast Elementary School, Northwest Elementary School, and Rochelle Middle School. No, wait. The guy runs an A school. Congratulations. Well, we gave direction. We love you anyway.
You can't win here. Don't.
And Rochelle Middle School.
You can, or make 2 rows.
You tell us. That's right.
Make 2 rows. Yeah, you guys push in the middle. There we go. All right. 3, 2, 1. There we go. And 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Thank you.
One of our very own teachers, Ms. Tamika Gaskill of Northeast Elementary School, has been named North Carolina Science Teachers Association Outstanding Elementary Science Teacher for Region 2. She was recognized and presented with a plaque at the NCSTA Award ceremony this past November. I would like for our state winner for excellence in science education, Ms. Tamika Gaskill, to come forward, please. You want to tell us just what this award means to you, what it's meant going and receiving this on the state level for excellence in science?
Well, I am definitely humbly honored to have received this award. I thank God for being able to teach what I love to teach, the opportunity to teach science. I'm grateful for the leadership of Mr. Kerman and the support, and my students, my scholars. I'm humbly also grateful that for their enthusiasm for science. That means a lot.
And move to your left. Yep. Perfect. 3, 2, 1. This, 3, 2, 1. All right.
Good job. I was telling someone yesterday, you have to remember, we currently only recognize not local winners, not county winners, those are commendable, but in these board meetings, we only recognize regional, state, and national winners, and you look how many students get recognized every month. That's a credit to our kids and to you all, the parents and other stakeholders who share them with us every day, and to our teachers who work so hard with them every day. All right. The North Carolina Association for Scholastic Activities sponsors an annual writing contest for middle and high school teams called the Quill. Congratulations to Woodington Middle School, whose team finished second in its division. For the state, Early College High School, who was the highest scoring 4th place team in the state, and to South Lenoir High School, which came in 3rd place in its division. So the writing is near and dear to me. I used to teach writing. I love it. Love that our kids are competing and winning, placing on regional level, going to state level, and placing there too. Competing for Woodington Middle School. When I call your name, come forward. Please also, if their principals are here or even if their teachers are here as well, please come forward. Competing for Woodington Middle School were students Nikki Bellamy, Layla Culhane, Jasmine Williams, and Aaliyah Brown. The team was coached by Caroline Stucker. Representing is Mr. Philippi. Mr. Philippi, come on down. It's the directions to you, Mr. We need to have a seminar. Representing early college were Ariana Aviles, Macy Schmidt, Destiny Hernandez Salazar, and Asher Eubanks with Coach Elizabeth Vick Smith. Representing South Lenoir High School were Abby Whaley, Wesley Vernon, Carter Johnson, Joanna Pribolinski, and Coach Greta Hill. Congratulations to these students. Woodington Middle School students, Aaliyah. If you'll help me, if you could grade it down with help. Aaliyah, congratulations. Aaliyah, proud of you. All right, Jasmine. Jasmine. Layla. Proud of you. Nikki. Nikki, congratulations. Very proud of you. All right, Ariana. Congratulations, Ariana. Proud of you. Macy. Congratulations, Macy. Destiny. And Asher. Asher, congratulations, fellas. Carter. Carter, congratulations. Sir. Congratulations. Love you. Congratulations, Dad. And Joanne. Congratulations, Joanne. Now, put you guys on the spot. You're writers. You're okay with this. I know you try to prefer to write it, but I want to ask you to share with everyone what this competition has meant to you. Because LCPS didn't always compete in the quill writing competition. This was fairly new for us. About 5 years ago we started. Our kids are dominant now, and I'm so proud of you. You're the reason why. So what has this meant to you in your learning? This experience of going to the regionals in the state?
It was a very nice experience. I'm very thankful that I was given the opportunity and talking about writing.
Great job. Did you learn any, do you have any reflections that you're going to change for next year in the competition if you compete again? Learn some things? You did? Know what to expect. There you go. Those are life skills, folks. Great job. Good job.
All right,
Multiple rows or
yes. If we can get one more row, so we can just the first two.
some of us listen to the
Then y'all squeeze it. You squeeze that. There you go. There you go.
There we go.
Final window. Final window.
That works. Yeah, there you go. Okay, and then Asher, yep, you in that window right there. We've got our outlaw turkey and okay, perfect. Alright, and then I'm sorry, come up just a little bit. A little bit more. Right there, perfect. Alright, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Couple more. Last one. All right, thank you guys.
Good job, guys.
All right, Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you, and congratulations to all the high flyers that were recognized tonight. Next item on the agenda is public comments. No one has signed up for public comments. We traditionally recognize elected officials who are in attendance. We do recognize Mr. Seaford, City Council. Thanks for sharing. And Keith King was here earlier, County Commissioner,
Mr. King, yeah, he might.
and Mr. Mike Doherty.
And Sheriff Rogers.
Anybody else? We welcome all elected officials at any time. We will now proceed to the presentation information section of the agenda. First item on the agenda is the LCPS 2025-26 instructional calendar. Chair recognizes Mrs. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Last month, I shared with you our process as mandated by statute for selection of the calendar for each upcoming school year. And we met with the committee, made up of a representative from every school in each department. And the calendars were presented to each school or department through the month of November. There were 2 calendars, option A and option B. A Google Doc was open for live questions to be posted if any were to come up and could be shared during the process. All votes were submitted just this past Friday to my office. So these are the totals from each of the schools. Option A is green, option B is blue. We'll go through Candidia Savannah, Frank, Kinston High, LaGrange, LCLA, Moss Hill, North Lenore, Northeast, Northwest, Peak Hill, Rochelle Middle, South Lenore High School, Southeast Elementary School, Southwood Elementary, Woodington Middle School, Transportation Department's votes, Central Services Department, and last but not least, the overall district results. We had over 900 votes, and option A won almost 70% of the vote. So I'd like to submit to you for consideration this month calendar option A. We uploaded both A and B for you just to have a visual for you, but we have selected option A, and at the next board meeting, it'll be an action item.
And it's very similar to the current calendar.
It's
Do you
very
want to
similar.
cover for the benefit of board members what the
Yes.
differences are?
So there are very few differences between the 2 calendars. Traditionally, because of the laws, the start times and the end times are exactly the same. The work days are also similar. Teachers request to have at least an early release day or a work day each month. The only major differences between the 2 is in June. Option A has more days in front of graduation, more teacher work days. And that really was, I think, the defining factor. We're transitioning to Infinite Campus from Power School. It's a huge transition across the state, which is the whole platform that houses attendance, student records, everything. And so this will be our first year closing out a school year with the new SIS system. And so the counselors and the administrators and teachers, they feel good about having a couple of days buffer before we close out the year and have graduation. So I really think that was
And there
the
are very few
motivating
decisions
factor.
really, and we have our calendar committee and we believe in that. We're dedicated fully to giving all stakeholders a say in that, and you see that, and we document that, provide the data therein. However, there are very few flexibility choices are rooted in flexibility, because you have your required start date, your required stop by date, start no earlier than, stop no later than. You have your required number of work days, then you have the holidays built in there, and then you have your you have to have a work day built around getting grades ready for your report cards, and then you have Christmas, and your only options are, an example would be, do you have 3 days of Thanksgiving break or do you have 2? And traditionally we've had 3, but that would be one option. Do you take Good Friday off with the following week off for Easter? That's another option. How many days do you have at Christmas, and how is that structured? Those are pretty much your only options in terms of the calendar. Because I did have a retired teacher ask me a couple of years ago, said, well, why don't we have more work days? You're limited on the work days, you're required on the number of instructional minutes, you're required on the stop, you're required on the start, and those are your limitations.
We also, for your consideration, uploaded the draft calendar for the early college high school. It is separate from our traditional calendar because they do follow the community college's schedule. So it is very different. So that concludes my report. I'll be happy to answer any questions or.
Thank you. Any questions? Next item is the Early Workforce Development Partnership Initiative, Careers on Wheels summary by Mrs. Colley.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for the opportunity to let me share with you about Lenoir County's Early Workforce Development Partnership Initiative that we start. We actually start educating our students about careers in kindergarten. Our elementary counselors, we have a continuum that we follow of how they introduce careers to students. And then in 4th grade, we kind of pull it all together with an event called Careers on Wheels. So the purpose of this event is to spark curiosity of various careers by creating a hands-on exploration and experience with our students and connecting them with our community workforce. We prepare our students, again, like I said, we really start preparing them in kindergarten by exploring different careers, but in 4th grade, they complete a career interest survey where they are able to share their interests, and then we can align what types of interests they have with careers that feed into that. We start a 2-year-long study in 4th grade through a platform called Major Clarity, and really it's lessons about different career fields like STEM, agriculture, marketing, medical, law and public safety, government, etc. And we teach them about, through 4th and 5th grade, about these different career options and different careers that feed into the big, what we call buckets. And then we work on finding community members that we can invite to be able to present to our 4th graders and show them what they do and how they do it and the tools that they use. So we typically reach out to about 75 businesses. Not all 75 are able to participate every year, but there's about 75 that we reach out to participate in our event. As far as participation, this is actually our 4th year of doing this. We did it in the spring. We've always had it in the spring. We moved it to the fall this year, really to accommodate the businesses. Agriculture prefers the fall. It was harder for them to participate in the spring when they're harvesting and planting and all those things. And then also the forestry service, firefighters, things like that. Apparently there's more fires in the spring than there are in the fall, so we moved it this year to accommodate our community. We had about 95 community members participate. That included our city, county, LCPS, business owners, and the military was represented. About 45 careers were represented. Anything from scientists to aviators, military, maintenance, law enforcement. We had a little bit of everything there. And 586 students participated. This was every 4th grader from our community, or from our schools. All 9 schools participated. Our students were very excited about this. One student was overheard just saying, "This is the best day of my life," and he was so excited, you know, to be able to put the helmet on, to be able to maybe put the harness on, to be able to look inside of a SWAT truck and look inside of a fire truck and see the inside of an ambulance. All those things really connected the things we've been teaching them in school to see it and hope that it translates into maybe even cultivating what they want to do when they grow up. We had a 4th grade teacher that, you know, wanted to make sure she said that it was a great field trip and a great experience for our kids because they got to see so many different types of careers, maybe things that they haven't even thought of doing. But my favorite quote, this actually came from Noose News. Christy Kelly covered it, and Shay Smith was one of the aviators with the Forestry Service, so he saves, you know, not just woods and homes and businesses, people. And this was a quote from him. He said, reflecting on the day, Smith shared, "To me, this is the most rewarding thing I've ever done. When you save a house or a business, it's hard to top that feeling. Events like this show kids they can have a meaningful career too." I will say the presenters are just as excited as the kids, so it's fun to watch the adults engage and just be so happy to share about what they do every day. And then, of course, they enjoy working with the kids too. I'm just going to show you a few pictures. This was taken from the bucket truck. So you can see most of it. You can't see everything. There's some stuff over there on the side. I'll show you that in a minute. But you can see lots of careers represented, from fire trucks, work trucks, power trucks, the 18-wheeler from LCC where they train, agriculture. The Coast Guard came all the way from Fort Macon that morning. And we had the helicopter. Been working on this for 4 years. Finally got one, so it made my day. I didn't get to ride in it, but I got to sit in it for a second. So he came, and he was with the Forestry Service, but the Forestry Service also brought their bulldozers that they can push brush up, and they enjoy sharing that with the kids and relating it to Planes, the movie that has all the firefighting stuff. And then, of course, we had our agriculture. This was from the Caswell Research Center. Lenore Soil and Water came. They actually did a really good presentation where they showed the kids how they stick that pipe in the ground and they pull the soil up to analyze the soil, and how they go out on boats to do, they brought a lot of equipment to show kids, and that the kids actually got to be part of and touch and sit. Of course, the SWAT truck is always a favorite. The kids love that. They actually let them, get up in there and walk around and come back out. So with this, this is the 4th year, and it's been, I feel like, wildly successful, honestly. We continue to grow. We have more businesses than we've had. Every year it gets a little bit bigger. And just the community bonds, like I said, a lot of the presenters, this is not their first time. They've been several times, so they know what to do, and they really enjoy it and enjoy engaging with the students. And really, most importantly for our students, I think that they are able to connect with pathways that they're interested in. This is important in 4th grade because they'll continue to learn in 5th grade, but then in middle school, that's when they start being able to take those electives and maybe being interested in FFA or the STEM classes that they have offered there. And then, of course, high school, they have pathways that they can take. And ultimately, we hope that we inspire our students because they will be our future in Lenoir County. So we hope that they'll come back and work with us and continue to be part of our community. And I just say a picture's worth 1,000 words. There were so many smiles that day. Who doesn't want to put on a hard hat and some gloves and be in a power truck? So they were super excited, and I'm going to just show you what made me smile. It was the helicopter coming in that morning. And of course, the kids were just in awe. They thought that was the neatest thing they had ever seen. So, because they got to touch it and everything, it wasn't just from a distance. So.
And we call this a workforce development initiative because it is, and what Ms. Colley shared with you, we see it that way. This is part of our strategic plan of pushing career awareness and early career information immersion down to the elementary level. Traditionally, it's been middle school and above, and we have our pre-apprenticeships and apprenticeships in high school. We're looking to move those down to middle school and provide some appropriate but early opportunities in middle school for kids to be out to visit some of our industries and factories and job sites, sort of like a job shadowing type thing. But we contend that the current, what we do with job shadowing is great, but if we're waiting for 10th and 11th grade and kids are out there job shadowing, we feel that if they had that earlier, they would have more opportunities to think through. And so we're trying to push that down to middle school, and then that early awareness down to elementary school with just seeing and talking to people who are doing things, because otherwise there would be 4 to 5 careers on interest inventories that kids in Lenoir County have said. Doctor, lawyer, policeman, fireman, and basketball player. That's what our kids have said traditionally on surveys that they would like to do because that's who they know. But if they know that they can be a lineman working for the power company and be on a career ladder and retire making 6 figures, they didn't know that. I don't think I knew that actually, but it was good information, a great day. Ms. Colley contacted frequently the Forestry Service, and for a year, I think very frequently, and I'm kidding, she did a great job of contacting them and getting the helicopter there. That was clearly the star of the show, but also Sheriff's Department leadership, the leadership of KPD were all there and supporting us. So in addition to what the kids got out of it, it was a great community partnership event. We got so many community leaders saying that's one of the best things I've seen you guys do. So that was not an enhancement activity as it might seem sometimes from looking at the pictures or just hearing about it generally. It's a solid workforce development endeavor.
Are there any questions?
I will say that it is not a day long.
No, it's not a full day because children's attention span is not quite that long.
Find out out the hallway.
I'm sorry.
And the lunch is excellent.
Yes, yes. We do try to make sure we take care of our community.
It was nicely done. Thank you, Ms. Colley.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Mr. Nicholas Harvey for an update on the ESSER 3 projects.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, board members. Tonight, I'll provide to you an update of our few remaining ESSER 3 projects that are coming to an end. Board members, as you are reminded, ESSER 3 funding expired on September 30th, 2024. All capital projects were required to be encumbered by the 9/30 deadline. Public school units have until December 31st to liquidate any remaining funds on projects that were encumbered before the cutoff date. However, the federal government has extended the deadline through March of 2026. Our Department of Public Instruction has created an application process for districts who wish to take advantage of the extension to complete projects beyond the December 31st deadline. LCPS has submitted a request to participate in the extended liquidation process. We are confident that our request will be granted.
But we're also proud that every single project, some districts have multiple projects that are in that red zone of being totally, everything reconciled before the end of December 2024. And we only have one project, a roofing project at North Lenore High School, that will be close on that. And who knows, we might get it and not need the extension, but we want to apply for the extension in case it's needed.
Better to have and not need than not need and not have. So tonight, I'll share with you what remains. South Lenore High School's roof replacement is 95% complete with shingles remaining. It will be completed by the December 31st deadline. Northwest Elementary School is near 90% complete with gutter work remaining. It will also be completed by the 12/31 deadline. Moss Hill, 90%, very similar to Northwest. Banks is at 80%. I talked to the vendor that is working on Banks and Mr. Larry Modeling today. We are hoping for that 12/31. He's very confident. Weather may cause a delay. Hopefully not. It was so cold last week they couldn't do some of the work that needed to be done. But it is on the encumberment. It is on the extended liquidation application. At the latest, it will be January 2025. But we are really pushing that vendor to get it done before 12/31. North Lenore, that project has started. It is a very large project. For those board members that remember, South Lenore and Kinston High School took an extended amount of time. It is a vast project. They have begun the work. We anticipate that also to be completed by 2025. Why so long? Why now? Anytime you do this type of engineering project, you have to apply and send your application and your work to the Department of Public Instruction. Their engineers then have to review and approve the work that our engineers have designed for the buildings.
There's a third party between us and DPI. That hasn't been the case before, and the feds put that in as a requirement to assure quality, that people weren't just hiring just anyone to do the work, and it might be sort of beyond their scope of expertise. And so these structural engineers, engineering firms are doing this all over the state. So you're required to have a design build structural engineering firm to review what you want to do, to come on site, to review it, to do walkthroughs, to do measure drawings, plans for everything, and a proposal, then submit that to the Department of Public Instruction. Their engineer teams review it and then send it back to our design unit. Sometimes it goes back 3-4 times.
Absolutely.
And so there's a lot of quality assurance and overlapping accountability here that sometimes has not traditionally happened in regular public school projects, to be honest.
Right.
So
We have been very pleased with the vendor that the board chose, REI, for these projects. And our principals, if they were still here, they would tell you that schools that have completed projects are very excited about the work that has been done and that is currently happening now regarding the projects.
Is that work still holding up?
Yes, sir. Very much so. Bleacher projects, Kinston High School. We thank you, board members, for your support of these projects as well. Kinston High School bleachers are completed. Very positive feedback. Mr. Woods attends games regularly there. Received positive feedback from him and other patrons. excited about the project.
That's
at Kinston
north
High
of
School.
$300,000 as a price tag.
Yep.
And remember, no state or federal funds can be used to buy bleachers, so that's what we're dealing with bleachers from Deep Run High School, Wheat Swamp High School, Moss Hill High School, Southwood High School, bleachers from the 1940s, 50s, some. I mean, they're stamped on that. So we're finally able to catch up on some of these projects that we couldn't have used traditional funding streams to complete. So we're able to do that with the ESSER funding. 40 years of projects, actually, if you calculate the average number of dollars spent by us, our allocation from the commissioners each year, if you take the average number for the last 5 years, we've been able to make over the last 4.5 years, 40 years of projects.
Absolutely. We identified 4 schools that will be using ESSER 3 funding for bleachers at Kinston High School. One of those schools. Our next school is LaGrange Elementary. The vendor that you guys selected for these projects were fantastic to work with. They literally did Moss Hill and LaGrange Elementary School in less than a week, from drop off to installation. Ms. Bell was here earlier. Got a big hug from Ms. Bell. Their bleachers were totally inoperable. Could not have parent events, could not hold large classroom settings for their students and her patrons and her parents.
1941 stamp on those bleachers from LaGrange High School.
Yeah, absolutely. I think LaGrange Elementary had a signature from, who's that, Mr. Williams? Is this a brick company, or I forgot, she said, but there was a very known businessman who signed his name on that wall when he was in elementary school. And I'll get you the name, but we laughed about it last week for senior staff. But his name was behind the bleachers, and that gentleman's business has been here over 60 years, and he was in elementary school when he signed the wall. So we're going to preserve that. We're not going to paint over that. We're going to preserve that.
And you see the aisles and the rails, it's ADA compliant, all of these are. And you see the rails and everything. Some of our in fact, all of our bleachers, it was just crawl over the bleachers.
Yes.
And I'm getting to an age now where that's more difficult than it used to be. It might be for some of you. And this provides the handrails and the aisles to walk up and down.
Our next school is Moss Hill. It is complete as of Sunday afternoon. Mr. Barnett is excited. I know they will put those bleachers to great use in that community there as well.
And even just one side is over $110,000 for those.
And last, South Lenore High School.
There's a lot of excitement in Deep Run.
Yes,
for
right.
tomorrow night.
For tomorrow night, South Lenore High School will host its first home basketball game tomorrow night. I think they're playing Clinton High School. And I'm excited to see the faces tomorrow on Deep Run when they walk in and see that gym. Their school, their principal and athletic directors have worked hard with their booster club. So they did some extension work with the flooring and painting. So it looks really good.
North of $300,000 worth of bleachers. We had painted the entire facility, and the school did that privately. We did they did that through school funds, booster club funds. And also the booster club paid to do the floor, to sand it down. The floors are sanded frequently, periodically, but they don't go all the way down to the raw wood. But they went all the way down. You can see that beautiful color coming through. They went all the way down to the raw wood and then painted, and then did the polyurethane over that. So you have the new paint job in there, new HVAC system in there, new bleachers in there, $300,000 worth of bleachers, the HVAC system, total package just for our part without the booster club's contribution of paint and floor work, over $500,000.
Yes, sir.
And the roof, yes, that's not including the roof. Yes.
All right. HVAC control system. So this is a district-wide project to replace the entire HVAC control system. This system allows our maintenance department to maintain and monitor temperatures within our schools. Board members are reminded again, principals have total autonomy to decide when to switch their units from air to heat and vice versa. This does allow us to step in cases of emergencies. If there's a parent event, PTA, ball game, and a principal or AD forgets to notify us that it's needed, our maintenance department can remotely turn on those units in the gyms and our auditorium settings. But principals have total autonomy to do so. Why did we do this? The system that we were using prior to this was decades old and totally antiquated. No parts could be found anywhere in the United States to repair or replace the system. Mr. Williams sat in my role and had the pleasure of dealing with that system for many years, and it had to be done, and we were able to use our ESSER funding to support this initiative.
In the world of HVAC controls, Schneider, I think, was telling us that between 5 to 10 years you're achieving obsolescence, and this equipment was installed brand new here in 1999-2000 school year. So that's how long we've been using it. We were buying from municipalities like the town of Grifton and
Fuquay Marina.
Fuquay Marina, as they would age out with this stuff and want to throw it away, we would buy it from them to try to keep our stuff going. But ESSER, again, we've used ESSER for infrastructure projects and to try to invest in the future. But these are some pretty long-standing needs that we've been able to address.
That installation process is nearly 95% complete. It will be done by the December 31st deadline. We have our maintenance supervisors coming to our principals meeting tomorrow. There are some quirks and angst as any new system provides, but we're going to work through those with our principals, and we're going to discuss those issues tomorrow during our principals meeting. But we're really satisfied thus far, minus a few quirks and claims. I'll be happy to entertain any questions you may have regarding the remaining ESSER projects.
Questions from the topic? No, thank you, Mr. Harvey. The next order of business is the financial audit and audit report and statement. Mrs. Hooker and Mr. Davenport.
Always glad to see Ms. Hooker, but we're really glad to see Mr. Doc Davenport. He's got some great news for us.
Thank you. So it is good news. Positive financial results, no compliance findings, and an audit that was submitted timely. So that's really, I guess I could stop right there, but I will plow forward for a moment. So I was just listening to Mr. Harvey's presentation, which I'll touch on the ESSER 3. I was interested in the HVAC control system-wide update, and I can tell you as a former parent of a North Lenore volleyball player that August volleyball games in the gym, when the memo did not get passed that to turn the AC on, were brutal. So I think that would be a significant upgrade. Of course, we considered it a home court advantage, but not the parents, maybe the kids. So anyway.
He's kidding. That was an actual allegation. That's a joke.
So anyhow, and I'll start with the financial results. So we have recently submitted the audit for the year ended June 30, 2024. LGC is reviewing that, and we anticipate the approval any day. So it was submitted timely by the 12/1 deadline this year. So just looking at your local funds for a second, the operating funds, current expense, and other restricted fund, as well as capital outlay, which is a local fund, all of those had positive financial results this year, and all of those funds are, I would consider, very positive financial stability in those funds. So that basically means that you're managing those funds well. You have some fund balance or reserves to fall back on in case things don't go as planned occasionally, but all three of those funds are in solid financial condition. The Child Nutrition Fund actually incurred a loss this year. However, that was due to a decision to take the indirect cost at the maximum amount allowed, which was able to move about $500,000 from that fund to other local funds to use in those funds.
And we had not been doing that. Most systems do that. We had not been doing that, but that's pretty standard, and
yes.
And we needed to be doing that.
And the Child Nutrition Fund is in very
when you look at when all the dust settles, they're actually not in loss mode.
correct. I mean, it was able to provide $500,000 to other local funds, which are still in-house. So yes, it did operate in a positive manner as well. So that's all good news for sure. Just like to talk about the COVID and ESSER money just briefly. As your presentation indicated, you've chosen to use the majority of yours for non-recurring items like the capital needs. Lots of school districts across the state and even the country are in the process of grappling with how to deal with budgets that they included recurring operating costs in, like payroll, things of that nature, when these monies are gone almost. So, for instance, this year the Department of Education, you received about $29 million through U.S. Department of Education. $18 million of that was these COVID dollars, which will be no longer available after this year. So you can see that that's a huge number. And fortunately, your budgets won't, you'll just have less capital projects. The volume of activity this past year was tremendous, probably the highest it's ever been for this school district due to the ESSER funding. So, and I'll back up and thank the staff for their assistance with this audit, because we did submit it timely, and that is the credit for that goes to the staff and superintendent. We deal directly on a daily basis with Helen Hooker and Lisa Davis in the finance department, but there are many people that employees that play a role in this audit. There's program administrators, payroll personnel, all kinds of folks, school secretaries, treasurers, lots of folks have some hand in the audit. So we certainly thank all of those for their assistance. We couldn't get it done and submitted in a timely manner without those folks. So on the compliance side of the audit, there were no current year findings. Much improved from last year. We had 4 findings last year, I'll remind you. One was a budget violation. We had no budget violations this year. The 3 other findings required repayments of various amounts to North Carolina Department of Public Instruction. All those repayments have been made, and the 22-23 audit has been closed as far as DPI is concerned, and we have no such question cost this year. So basically, as Superintendent Williams stated, good news and good report, and just like once again to thank those that helped, and be happy to take any questions that anyone might have.
I will open it to the floor, but I would like to echo what you said as far as the people who were involved in that. School secretaries, department, program directors and their staff, and definitely your staff. You deserve a lot of credit on the job well done. Congratulations. Questions, comments? And thank you for your patience.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Chair now recognizes Mrs. Hooker for our financial report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, board members. For your review tonight is the November 2024 financial report. The report summarizes budget and year-to-date activity for all Lenoir County Board of Education funds as of November 30, 2024. Additionally, the report presents the unadjusted local current expense fund balance as of November 30, 2024. You will notice a decrease in the current expense fund balance, and that's due to local supplements being paid in the month of November, and it is expected to drop again slightly in December due to property insurance. But after January, it is expected to begin to normalize. So if you have any questions, if you had time to review, I'll be happy to address them for you.
Question for Ms. Hooker? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
We will now move to the action portion of the agenda. Funding year 2025 E-rate cycle. Mr. White.
Good evening. Thank you for your time. Tonight, I am requesting your approval to apply for the federal E-rate Category 2 funding and to approve the selected bids contingent upon the funding request being granted. The initiative is crucial to ensuring our district's technology infrastructure continues to meet the demands of modern education while also being fiscally responsible. In October, the Department of Media and Technology published 6 proposals through the E-rate mini-bid process as outlined by the Department of Public Instructions. These proposals were presented to the November board meeting. The proposals are designed to address the most crucial needs to upgrade components of our network infrastructure across the district. The first proposal focuses on replacing the core redundant routers and power supplies here at the district. These are essential to maintaining primary connectivity for the entire school district. With that proposal, there are 4 identified NIFs that are also funded by the Department of Technology. Additionally, we aim to replace aging and outdated equipment in the internal switching network at Kinston High School, as outlined in the second proposal. The third, fourth, and fifth proposals address the need for upgraded switching and Wi-Fi equipment at Contentnia Savannah and Pink Hill Elementary Schools, ensuring students and staff have access to reliable and high-speed technology. Finally, the sixth proposal seeks to replace outdated access points at South Lenoir High School, which will significantly enhance connectivity for students and staff. Through this process, the committee received and evaluated a total of 24 bids, ensuring a competitive and transparent selection process. I ask that the board approve this request tonight, as it represents an investment in the district's infrastructure that directly supports teaching, learning, and operational efficiency. Thank you for the consideration, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Those open for discussion?
I guess a question. The grant would cover equipment and installation costs.
So the E-rate program is not actually a grant. The E-rate program is based upon federal funding that comes from our free and reduced, the amount of free and reduced students that we have within the district. So Lenoir County is a high poverty district. We actually rate at that highest amount. So with Category 1 funding, which is our funding that does our connectivity, which provides our internet, we're rebated at 90%. At Category 2 funding, we're rebated at 80%. So this investment as a whole, we have to submit it to, if it's approved by the board, will be submitted to USAC, which is the governing body of E-rate. If they approve it, then it'll go into the next phase where we'll do the purchase orders and stuff like that. The overall cost in savings will be around $400,000 for our district for this equipment.
Okay, thank you.
Did that answer your question?
It did, yep.
But you are asking for a motion for applying for the application?
Yes, sir. I'm asking for a motion to apply for the application for federal E-rate Category 2 funding.
Floor is open for a motion.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Mrs. Cash, is there a second by Mr. Woods. Any further discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor of the applications process being approved, raise your right hand. It's unanimous.
Thank you, sir.
Proceed. Thank you. Next order of business is the Lenoir County Public Schools short summer session. Mrs. Harris.
Thank you. Good evening. You'll notice in board docs, we've got a summary there of our proposal for short summer sessions. Short summer session is essentially the 4 work days at the end of the school year where we prepare students and give them an opportunity to retest on EOCs and EOGs. So it's essentially 3 days of test taking strategies, 3 hours a day. Our teachers run that and get the students prepared, and then on the 4th day, the students, if they did not pass their EOC or their EOG, they're able to retest. And it's incredibly valuable to us and our overall scores. These are the dates that we propose to do it June 9th through the 12th. The instructional days will be 9th through the 11th, with the retesting on the 12th. If a child has two tests that if they failed reading and math, for example, we have built in 2 exam days so a child can retest reading and retest math, but not on the same day because that's cruel and unusual punishment to a child. You do 2 tests in one day like that. So we have 2 days built in case that is the case. The study schedule is there. We'll feed the breakfast and lunch. They'll come at 8 and they leave at 12. We do provide transportation, so we'll run buses for all of the students. Attendance is required to participate in the testing, so you can't just show up on the day to take the retest. We can have tardies because they're only there for such a short amount of time. If there's tardies, they'll really miss the instruction. And car riders, we'll have procedures in place for car riders as well. And our instruction will be provided by our teachers. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them for you, but I do respectfully request permission to submit this proposal to Department of Public Instruction so that we are able to provide this retesting option.
Discussion.
I wasn't clear on the note about midway down of the plan. Grades 5 and 8 science, EOGs, biology, ESC assessments are new.
They are new. So they've implemented the science standards this year.
Right.
So they won't norm the tests until the summer. So we won't be able to retest those because we don't have the cutoff scores,
Okay.
the cut scores to determine what's a 3, what's a 4, what's a 5. And they'll take the summer, DK will take the summer to do that. So we won't have those until August. So those will be able to be retested.
Okay.
I'm glad you asked.
It was interesting, it said they're new, so I
Yeah.
get the impression it's available, but then said we won't be doing that. So,
Right,
Thank
that's
you.
right.
Okay.
So, but every 5 years, there's a process where all of our standards are reviewed and updated. And so this just past year has been science.
I assume those though are they included in the selections at the top? The boxes at the top?
Yes.
Okay, so we're covered.
Yeah, we're covered. Yes, we're covered.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Further questions? Floor's open for a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Britt to approve the Monroe County short summer session as presented. There's a second.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Cash. Without further discussion, Chair calls for the vote. All those in favor, let them mark the right hand. Motion passes. You may proceed.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
The last action item is the approval of board policies. Chair recognizes Mr. Williams.
Yes, we're bringing back this policy that we presented for your review last month, and it's a new policy for us. And it doesn't replace a policy. We didn't have one, but School Boards Association has recommended this policy, so we're brought it to you last month for your consideration, this month for approval.
For public notice, would you explain what this policy does?
This policy is for foreign exchange students, and it provides guidance and a framework for consideration for school districts relative to foreign exchange students, relative to specifically their visa. And Jason might want to say some more about that.
No, I mean, that sums it up pretty well. NCSBA has made some recent updates, for districts that have had this in the past. There were some changes to the federal J-1 visa requirements, so this is all up to date. It meets federal guidelines, federal requirements, and like Dr. Williams said, it just provides an outline of the process for districts to use when considering foreign exchange students.
And we really don't have that many. We might have one per year, and in some years we don't have any. Absolutely.
Chair's open for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Woods, is there a second? Second by Mr. Wiggins. All those in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Motion carries. The policy revision is accepted. Floor is now open for a motion to enter closed session.
Mr. Chair, I move that the Lenore County Board of Education go into closed session under North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11 to prevent the disclosure of confidential personnel files, to consult with the board's attorney in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege and to consider matters related to initial employment of an individual employee.
Motion by Dr. Outlaw to enter into executive session. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Cash. Any discussion? Call for the vote. All those in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. We're now in executive session. Board is now open for recommendation for personnel report. Is there a recommendation to approve the personnel report?
Motion.
I have a motion by Mrs. Cash. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Wiggins. Any discussion? All those in favor of the recommendation being approved, let it know by raising your right hand. It is approved. Mr. Wiggins?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Georgia Moretti, would you please stand? Ms. Moretti, the Lenore County Board of Education has approved our recommendation for you to be the new, for you to be official and not in training anymore, to have the title of Exceptional Children's Director for Lenore County Public Schools. So congratulations. Anything you'd like to say?
Just thank you for this opportunity. I've given 26 years to Exceptional Children's, and I do feel like that I have learned a lot in these 26 years, and there's more that I have to give to Lenore County Schools. Most of my career has been here, and that's where I want to finish my time. I love this community. This is where I grew up, and I want to continue to build on what we've started here and grow upon that, and just provide support to the students of Lenore County and the families and to the schools. Thank you.
The chair delayed chair's comments, but I'd like to make a few right now to give those. First, Mr. Hill, I want to say thank you for the leadership that you provided this board over the last couple of years. It's been greatly appreciated. Thank you. Pleasure working with you. That's nice. To Mr. Mervyn Smith, hopefully next month we can recognize him officially.
We'll be honoring him
for his
next month.
service to this board and community. To this board. Having become chair on a split vote, to those of you who supported me, I say thank you. To those of you whose vote I did not earn, I pledge a year to earn it. And to our entire school system, Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. We stand adjourned.